World leaders have flocked around Volodymyr Zelensky in support after his furious, historic row with Donald Trump in the Oval Office. Leaders from the EU piled behind Ukraine and blamed Russia, which gleefully branded Zelensky an insolent pig. After the clash, Zelensky yesterday flew to Washington to sign a critical minerals deal, but was booted out of the White House early after a sensational scrap. Trump accused him of gambling with World War III, followed by Marco Rubio today, heaping blame for the spat fiasco on Zelensky. The splintering relations threaten to destabilize the entire Western alliance, but Europe has reacted by standing firm with Ukraine. Kaja Kallas, the EU's foreign policy chief, even said that the free world needs a new leader, after Trump degraded the embattled Ukrainian with a bitter onslaught. Keir Starmer is the only leader who has spoken to both Trump and Zelensky since the feud. A No 10 spokesperson said Friday evening, Starmer retains unwavering support for Ukraine and is doing all he can to find a path forward to a lasting peace based on sovereignty and security for Ukraine. He fell short of publicly criticizing the U.S. president over the clash. German Chancellor Olaf Scholz posted on X, "Nobody wants peace more than the Ukrainians do. Therefore, we are working on a common path to a lasting and just peace. Ukraine can rely on Germany and on Europe." And French President Emmanuel Macron, who had a friendly meeting with Trump on Monday, said, "There is an aggressor, Russia. There is a people being aggressed, Ukraine. We were all right to help Ukraine and sanction Russia 3 years ago, and to continue doing so." The Kremlin is thrilled by the growing U.S.-Ukraine division, which it has goaded on from the sidelines. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Medvedev smeared Zelensky on X. The insolent pig finally got a proper slap down in the Oval Office. And Donald Trump is right. The Kyiv regime is gambling with WWI. Russian state media has also been cock-a-hoop since Zelensky's public dressing down. A TV host on the Rossiya 24 channel said the meeting looks more like a public flagellation for Zelensky. Hungary's Prime Minister, Viktor Orbán, was the lone EU leader to back Trump's antics, writing, "Strong men make peace, weak men make war." He claimed that Trump had pushed for peace, even if it was difficult for many to digest. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen told Mr. Zelensky, "Your dignity honors the bravery of the Ukrainian people. Be strong, be brave, be fearless. You are never alone. We will continue working with you for a just and lasting peace." The Italian PM Giorgia Meloni, who has a special bond with Trump, called for an immediate summit where US and EU leaders speak frankly to hammer things out. She added, "Any division of the West makes us all weaker." Yesterday's high-stakes meeting between Trump and Zelensky collapsed into chaos after the Ukrainian leader challenged J.D. Vance's claim the U.S. had tried to use diplomacy to bring peace. Vance and Trump teamed up to lambaste Zelensky for failing to show enough gratitude and demanded he cut a deal with Russian President Vladimir Putin. At one point, all three men were seen leaning forward, pointing fingers, and throwing their arms around in fury. When Zelensky pushed back, Trump snapped, "You're gambling with the lives of millions of people. You're gambling with World War III. Vance piled on, demanding, "Have you said thank you once this entire meeting?" Zelensky replied, "A lot of times." The blow-up ended with Trump scrapping the planned press conference and ordering Zelensky out. Speaking outside Air Force One, Trump declared, "President Zelensky is not ready for peace if America is involved, because he feels our involvement gives him a big advantage in negotiations." He also claimed, "I don't want advantage, I want peace," in a post on Truth Social. Zelensky had disrespected the United States of America in its cherished Oval Office, he added, telling him to can come back when he is ready for peace. The Ukrainian president surprised many by going ahead with a scheduled interview on Fox News hours after his unceremonious departure. He said the argument had been bad for both sides and that he can't change our Ukrainian attitude to Russians. Marco Rubio today said, "You guys only saw the end. You don't see all the things that led up to this." The president's been very clear on this. He campaigned on this. He thinks this war should have never started, and I agree that had he been president, it never would have happened. The U.S. Secretary of State added, Now here we are, he's trying to bring an end to this conflict. We've explained very clearly what our plan is here. We want to get the Russians to a negotiating table. We want to explore whether peace is possible. The Sun says,